From Tally to Cali,
It's time
to wake up.
wake up, wake up.
Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by Zaxby's
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hajavandi.
and Corey Clark.
Look at that handsome gentleman right there.
That's not the way to start.
Clark, what's up, everybody? It is Wake Up Warchant, proud presented by Zaxby's. We're live here on YouTube. Thanks so much for joining in. Hit the thumbs up button if you're ready to talk to Knowles and have a good little swinging time here with us. Corey Clark, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, buddy. The Bravos won.
Oh, they came back. They rallied.
Oh, yeah. Down 4-1, then scored 6 runs. They scored 2, and then they scored 6 in the 7th inning to take control of the game. So, look, I'm not expecting a world championship this year, but hey, it's good to see them win a game in the postseason. That's always fun. It had been a long time.
Believe, Corey. I mean, are you going to? Will you ever believe as an Atlanta fan, or you don't believe until you get?
They could be up 3-0 in the World Series and have a 10-2 lead in the 6th inning, and I'm like, here it comes, here it comes. Oh, Grady, lead off walk. That's where it starts. I will be doing that. I would be doing that for the rest of the night. There's no chance I will ever believe until the final out is recorded.
I gotcha. Hey, Matt Stone wants to know, where can one get a sandwich?
At Zaxby's, my man. At Zaxby's.
I got the wrong background here. Speaking of which, I got the post game show. We're Wake Up Warchant. We're presented by Zaxby's. Indescribably good. Check out the 9 great locations in the greater Tallahassee area, if you will. Also, Douglas, Georgia, and Marianna, Florida, which I don't think really are greater Tallahassee area. Promo code Warchant 30 for 30 for days of access to the ultimate Seminole sports source. We'll be taking your phone calls throughout the day, 850-805. 5911. So line up, get prepared. It's going to be a good rip-roaring show. Anything stand out to you today, Corey, on Tuesday when we spoke to Coach Mike Norvell and select offensive players?
No, I mean, I like Robert Scott. He seems to have he has a big personality, which I think says something too. When you're a freshman and a guy that hasn't done a whole lot of talking in his life, a whole lot of talking during the recruiting process, for him to seem so comfortable in his own skin and so comfortable dealing with the media. I mean, maybe it's just because I'm a media member, but I think that shows some confidence in himself that he's so at ease at that. And that leads me to believe that maybe he'll be a very good football player in a couple of years. The fact that he's actually played okay on the football field is a better gauge for that. But still, I was a little buoyed by just how confident he is talking to media folks. And other than that, no, not really. Did Jordan Travis say anything that really? I'm gonna bring it up. Aslan, was it you that asked it? No, it was Ira that asked Jordan Travis. I thought a very apt question. Asked Jordan Travis like what quarterbacks did he grow up maybe trying to pattern his game after or being big fans of? What were some of the quarterbacks that maybe he used as inspiration? And my man said James Blackman. And I should have just shut the computer and walked away and gone for a run or a hike or something. Not that I ever go for a run, but just gone for a walk. Because come on, man. What? I don't know if he's screwing with us or screwing with James or if that's the actual truth. But how old was he when James Blackman started as a friend? Was it Travis like a senior in high school? He must have been, right?
Yeah.
So, I thought that was really funny. I don't know if he was trying to be funny, but I thought that was really funny. I mean, my man didn't he grow up like a stone's throw away from Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
They're from the same area, right? Palm Beach or around there. But the guy he wanted to emulate was James Blackman. All right, man. Well, either way, it was funny. I laughed a lot. Luckily, I wasn't on camera. I had the black screen. But other than that, there was nothing really that he said. You know, I don't know if you guys know this, but he's just trying to get 1% better every day, like we all are in life. Actually, I'll be honest, I'm trying to get 4 to 6% better every day. I feel like that expedites the process and you get better quicker. I don't limit myself to just 1%, but Florida State does. But anyway, other than that, there wasn't a ton really to glean from the player interviews. Did Norvell say anything? Oh, he did think that he thought who was he asked about? He was asked about Travis J. And was it Darius Washington?
I think Robert Cooper.
Robert Cooper, yes. He was asked about Robert Cooper and Travis J. And of course, he is the way he is on injuries. We're not going to know for sure, but he did sound like one or both could maybe even be available for this week. He seemed very encouraged by what he was hearing there. Hamsa, we'll see. Chuba, what did you make of his answer for about Chuba when you asked him?
I don't know. I mean, he did team on Sunday, it sounds like, although I don't know how vigorous team, 11 on 11 is on a Sunday. I would think it's kind of walkthrough-ish. But also, they're throwing pads at him, so to kind of simulate contact to get him ready, possibly, I guess. So, I mean, it sounds like, obviously he's progressing. So I think that's encouraging. I don't know, if Jordan were to, go cold, I don't know how much rope they'd give him to kind of let him finish things out. I don't know if Chuba would be the first guy off the bench, but I mean, just the fact that he wasn't uncomfortable talking about Chuba, to me, was encouraging.
Yeah. So it sounds like he said he's getting close. That's a direct quote. He said something else that was encouraging about kind of him working himself back into whatever they're trying to work himself back into. Maybe they have a package for him this week. I wouldn't bet much on it, but maybe they do. But then certainly maybe in another, whatever that would be, 11 days from now when North Carolina's here, maybe there's a package for him then, or maybe he's the guy, or maybe Jordan Travis has turned this thing around and is running with it. We'll all see, man. We'll all see.
Yeah, I mean, the way I asked it, I was just curious about, like, is he just complete full go? Like, to get him up to speed? Are they on Wednesday? Is Wednesday kind of like Chuba's day to work with a analyst or something and kind of get ready and sped up? But it just sounds like he's rolling with the team. So I think that's highly encouraging.
Didn't he say they introduced him to some? I couldn't quite make out what he said, but something about being hit. Yeah,
like they were like hitting him with pads and stuff, like when he's dropping back or whatever. Just getting used to.
Okay.
Chaos around him, traffic, and all that kind
Let's
of stuff.
hope his collarbone holds up.
Yeah, I feel good about it.
Okay.
But I guess Notre Dame is up until mid-November. This is kind of like the last.
Did we just lose Aslan? Am I going to have to carry this show? We might have just lost Aslan. So, folks, I don't have access to the phone lines, so I can't start a call. But I will say this: I appreciate you guys watching. If you want to go ahead and donate. That's fine. Aslan's just frozen on the screen. Look at Troy.
Oh man, I unplugged the camera. I'm plugging it back in. What I don't get is my audio doesn't work. That's what upsets me. Is that my audio won't work?
Well, sorry, buddy. But how about our man Troy? I'm not sure I like the get up he's wearing there. But other than that, we appreciate it. We appreciate the love from Wyoming. That's awesome.
I used to really dislike the Yankees, but I've recently kind of come back to liking the Yankees because I dislike the Red Sox so much. But shout out to Troy. He's in Wyoming. Freaking love the show. I listen to you guys every day. Go Noles. So we do appreciate that.
Thank you very much, Troy.
Pat Dedecios?
Not a Dedecios. I'm going to say Didikos.
Didikos. Okay, $20 in the jar.
Let's go, Pat.
I got a new toy here, Corey. I have a soundboard. So here, Wandering Fitness, $10. Although I don't know what's up with the state of. Why is the state of Florida a gun, man? What's up?
Is that that might be the Miami turnover?
Is that the turnover
chain? Yeah, maybe that's the Miami turnover chain.
How about this one, Corey? This one's for you.
Dollar bills, y'all.
There you go. That's good, man. A little Kenny Powers.
We'll mix it up a little bit. The requisite Miami fan DJ throwing $2 in the tip jar just to throw you up on our screen. Whatever.
We'll take it. But hey, thank you for who was the fitness? What was the fitness that gave us $10?
Wandering Fitness.
And Pat gave us 20.
Pat gave us 20. Thank you.
Right out of the gate. Thank you very much. That's very, very kind. You don't even know what kind of show this is going to be yet. Yeah, Troy, I agree with Aslan too, by the way. I would rather you be in that get up than a Red Sox get up or an Astros get up for that matter.
Oh yeah.
It looks like maybe the Yankees will play the Astros. And that will be a time. I always root for the Yankees when they play the Red Sox, but just because of Boston fandom. And then definitely going to root for the Yankees if they play the Astros.
I don't know who to root for in the Yankees Rays because, Tampa, kind of hometown team, but,
Yeah, I'm rooting for the Rays in that one, but it's the Yankees, man. They hit everyone. Doesn't matter how good your pitching is. I know I'm about to jinx them going into tonight. Maybe they'll get no hit. But it doesn't matter how good you are as a pitcher. They're going to find a way to score 8 runs.
All right, let's talk football. That's what people come to the show for.
Sure. Sorry, guys.
We'll take our first caller of the day. Welcome on into Wake Up Warchant, presented by Zaxby's Indescribably Good. Who's this and where are you calling us from?
Hey, what's up, Aslan? What's up, Corey? It's Gator Kirk from.
What's up, man?
757.
He lives. Gator Kirk lives. Didn't you set yourself like a really scary ultimatum? But you're here.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of thinking about going back into the shadows or something, because like today there was a screener that screened my call. I was like, oh, and when I said Gator, I'm like, oh God, there's no way he's gonna put me on. And then when I say, he just called me by my last name. It was like Kirk, okay. I'm like, so, but that was, I was like, oh my God, someone and it was Terry, the screener. So
yeah, shout out to Terry, by the way. Terry's working in the
cool.
background, helping me out, man. I appreciate it. Terry's a good dude. Helps out on the boards as well.
That's why I asked his name. I'm like, hey, who am I speaking with? So, and he went through the whole spiel. So anyway, my question is, who were you most impressed with on the offense and the defense this past weekend?
I mean, Jordan Travis is the obvious answer. I'm trying to think. Webb and Toafili get 2A and 2B for me. I just like the way they ran.
You only get one girlfriend. You got to pick one of them.
Well, then it's got to be Travis. Then, if that's going to be Jordan Travis is the obvious answer. I just want to mention those two guys on defense. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? I mean, Kendo was pretty good. Renardo Green. I gave him a lot of grief for that pass interference he got against Miami, or the face mask he got against Miami, but because he was in position. It's like, go make a play. But I do think that guy's got a little what for. He's a redshirt freshman. He's playing a position he didn't come here to play, and he plays it with some attitude and some aggression. And he's a guy that I think Norvell even mentioned him either today or yesterday. He's a guy that I think can be built upon as a guy, like a backbone, as a pillar. We have pillars for this show. I think he could be a pillar for the defense for years to come. I think he's a nice player moving forward.
Defensively,
although he doesn't look like he graded out real well, according to our friends at PFF. I guess I was more mentioning just the season overall, because he's not even in the top 11.
Yeah, people might want to. I guess DJ Lundy's like growing to be a crowd favorite. He just looks the part, right? Just like dressed out well and just thumps around.
Yeah, but so does Josh Kando and J-Rob.
Yeah,
they look the part too. I want to see them play the part and be the part.
Okay, look at you. Look at you being so demanding. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say Kando. I think Kando was the most impressive on defense. I mean, early on, I think he was coming off the edge a little bit, creating some pressure. Now Jacksonville State was scoring early, so it really didn't prove to be all that fruitful. Offensively, though, I'll say LaDamian Webb, just because you said the obvious one. Jordan Travis, you said the right answer, so I'll say the other one. Just, again, like he's like a Doug Martin, Maurice Jones-Drew. I guess that's who James Bates on the telecast compared him to. But just to be like that muscular, that low center of gravity, and to actually be able to run physical, and this is the run. I mean, the Matrix style, hand on the ground, keeping yourself up and getting into the end zone, I thought was really encouraging. So, those are the guys that impressed us. Brendan Gant also got some kudos from Coach Mike Norvell. He's actually been injured, so that's why we haven't heard a lot about him in the lead up to this, at least on the defensive side of things. So that's who stands out to us, Gator Kirk. That's what we feel about things.
Yeah, my two are Toafili and Kando, just because Kando got kind of a little dinged up his first game and came back and got to play the whole game. I normally don't have a second question, but my second question, since you put up the PFF, do you think the coaches look at the PFF and their own grades, or do you think when they're watching film, they just do their own grades and ignore what the PFF is?
Yeah, they got grading. They don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're looking at the PFF. It might be mentioned to them. Maybe they might subscribe to it. What would be the point not to do it? Just to maybe counter check some balances to see if you're grading the right way, I guess. But even then, you're going to trust the guy that you pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to grade his position more than I can't even fathom how they do it at PFF, how they grade all these games. Who knows who's doing it? But I think you trust, Chris Marv, Papuchis, name them, Atkins. You trust those guys and their judgment and how a team and how a player did more than what the PFF grades are. But they might still look at, I don't know, like, do they look at recruiting rankings? I don't know if they look at recruiting rankings. I assume they take a glance. I don't know that it shouldn't dictate how they coach or how they recruit, but they might take a glance just to see if, they're on the same page. I don't know.
All right, Gator. We appreciate the call as always, man.
All right. I appreciate it, you guys. Everyone hit the thumbs up. There's 179 watching, only 29 thumbs up. Let's get that number way up there.
Dang right, Gator Kirk. You tell them.
Please go ahead and subscribe to Warchant and always go Noles. Let's have a good showing against Notre Dame. Y'all have a great night. Appreciate everything y'all do.
That's right, man. Gator Kirk, everybody, still alive and well and kicking, even after sending that crazy ultimatum before that Jacksonville State game. He was going to no longer post if they were to lose that game. So we are all spared that indignity here. Let's take our next caller. It's a fan favorite. I guess, can we call Jay from Daytona? Is he a pillar? Is he a pillar of the show, Corey Clark?
Absolutely. Yeah, he was there from day one, I feel like. He was there from the day one, and he's still here hanging with us now. He's hung on, and he's a part of the program for sure.
All right. Jay from Daytona, welcome on into the show, man. How you doing?
Hey, good. What's going on, guys?
Shoot, man. It's another day in paradise. Living the dream.
Hey, did you guys get a chance to see that Trey Lance showcase? That kid's, boy, he's awesome.
Yeah. I thought he didn't play all that well. His stats, I thought maybe like first half stats were bad. Did he pick it up towards the end of the game?
And that's the thing about it. He threw his first interception, but his not well is like what we want Jordan Travis to play like. So, I mean, he may go ahead of Justin Fields.
Hey, man, Trey Lance had a chance to transfer to Florida State. He wanted to stay in the Dakotas. What are you going to do? I mean, there was a chance to play right away. He could have been playing against De'Aaron King on national television. He chose to stay up in the Dakotas. So it's hard to watch all his games. But, yes, he is he's a pretty impressive athlete. And he can wing it. Like, he can really sling it, too. Much like our man Jordan Travis. Am I right, Jay? Are you on the Travis train?
Yeah, we got a poor man's Trey Lance, but I'll just say this. Hey, it's just refreshing to see a Power 5 athlete compete rather than wait for inevitable adversity. So as long as the kid's out.
Did we lose him again? Is it just me again? I don't know if I'm talking into a void right. Oh, there you go. All right, good.
Speaking of adversity, Corey, suck it up. I go away.
Well, I'm scared we're freezing, and I'm left to talk amongst myself while the connection gets better.
Talking when I'm here trying to actually talk. Defense, maybe it sounds like.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. This is my question about the defense. Listening to Fuller say, all of the right things, just like Barnett did last year, is kind of eerie. So I want to ask you guys, if we do end up replacing him at the end of the year, do defensive coordinators usually want to bring in their own D-line coach, similar to what Browse did with the O-line coach? And I'm not trying to slander anybody, but, Fuller, he kind of, iterated that the defensive line is where the team's success starts. So the reason I ask that, because if you get rid of Fuller, you might be killing two birds with one stone.
Who's the other bird we're killing here? I don't want to kill any other birds.
You killing Odell or Papuchis or both?
The D-line doesn't look good, guys.
No, I know. We're just wondering who you want to – do you want to get rid of the D-ends coach and the D-tackles coach, or just the D-tackles coach?
I want the defense to progress, and I want these guys – I don't want to get rid of anybody, but I'm just saying if it comes to that, we may have to cross a bridge that we, may not want to.
That's a good question as far as who he brings in. I would think a defensive coordinator would want some autonomy about who he – and look, we're way ahead of the game here. We're 3 games in. This is purely hypothetical. I don't know that whoever the defensive coordinator in would be hired. Say Fuller, let's pretend Fuller gets hired by the Vikings. Like Florida State just goes crazy the next 8 weeks and is the best defense in the country somehow. And he goes away, he gets hired by an NFL team. You would bring in someone that I think you want the continuity, man. I don't know that you would. I don't know that you would just. I don't know after 1 year you want to start having to hire 3 different assistants again or 4. But I understand the concern. The defensive line has not performed well at all. Part of that I think is just the players themselves haven't played well. But yeah, man, you could certainly say that the schemes haven't been good for them. There's no stunting that works. They don't seem to really always be on the same page. The ends and the tackles I'm talking about, or even the tackles next to each other, it has not worked so far. I don't think that a defensive coordinator. I don't know that it's like Kendall Briles where, okay, I'll come, but only if you bring my O-line coach with me. I don't think that happens so much with defensive coordinators. I think whoever you would hire, you'd be hiring from someone that I would assume would be taking a pretty big leap up in pay and notoriety. I don't think they dig their heels in about, okay, but I want to bring my D-line coach from Akron too. Not that they're hiring the Akron DC. You know what I mean, Jay? I do think that I think that the D coordinator comes and the position coaches probably stay unless a position coach is fired because they didn't get the job done. I don't think it would be dictated by the DC though. Aslan, what do you think?
I thought Odell comes with the house, man. It's like the furniture. It's what comes with the house. I would say, ironically enough, I mean, I don't think you get rid of Papuchis that quickly. Papuchis has got nothing. He really doesn't. He's got Josh Kano and then a bunch of crossing the fingers and hoping. Now, Odell's got a first-round draft pick, a guy that we think if, he can continue to stay healthy and get better week over week, will probably get drafted in Corey Durden. Fabian Lovett's a guy that started 13 games in the SEC West.
I like Lovett, by the way. And I know it's Jacksonville State, but I thought he had his best game on Saturday.
Yeah, he graded out second, 76 overall. So 34 snaps out of the 58 they played on defense. I just don't know if is it more of a reactionary thing they're doing for the interior, but I just don't know if they're playing the way that Odell wants them to play, and then it's ultimately Adam Fuller's call on how they're going to dispatch the players and the talent they have. But it's concerning for sure.
Yeah, and he's a coach, and coaches have. I don't necessarily think he's on the chopping block by any stretch. I'm not saying that or campaigning for that. But his position group has been a major disappointment so far this season. I know Cooper got hurt. The interior of the line has been a major disappointment. They have not dominated, and we thought they were going to dominate. So, but it's early. We still got 9 glorious games left because we're going to the Gator Bowl. Don't know who we're playing, but the Noles are going to the Gator Bowl.
I was thinking about this the other day, Corey, or actually I think earlier today. If Florida doesn't make the playoff, I wonder how much pressure there will be. Maybe pressure's not the right word, but I wonder how much momentum there will be to make Florida State play Florida in a bowl game.
Why would Florida State do that?
I don't know.
Don't do that. Jay, would you want to see Florida State play Florida in a bowl game?
If we're getting better, if we're getting 1% better, do the math. I mean, what? That's like 60% better will be by then?
Sure.
So, all right, Jay, we appreciate the call,
tight end
man.
is a monster.
What's that?
Florida's tight end is a monster. First round. Wow.
Yeah, I want no part of Kyle Pitts. Yeah, no, I want no part of that kid. Yeah, that would not be fun. All right, Jay, we appreciate your calls always, man.
Guys. Take care, man.
That's right.
Thanks, buddy.
That's right, man. We got more folks here on YouTube. Throwing into the tip jar. Shout out to Brandon Harris. Guess he goes by Eli from Canton, Georgia, telling us to wake up, go Noles. Thank you very much, Eli. We appreciate it. Wandering Fitness is back. 5 more.
Wandering Fitness is bringing it.
Just wants to trigger me, pun intended, with the Florida shape of a gun thing there. Troy's back as well. Troy's already back from Wyoming, dropping more money into the jar. Troy again. I guess he's posted his tattoos. Maybe if you're on YouTube, you can actually see the photos of it. I can't see it personally, or else I would pop it up on the screen. Christopher Kearney. I'd say
Kearney there.
Kearney. People listening to the podcast like, what are you guys doing? It's names. We have to read on the screen because they're very kind and they're donating to the cause. And I shouldn't say donate. They're tipping us. This is what people do. People play video games, and other people give them hundreds of dollars to watch them play video games.
It's amazing. My son is one of them. Now he doesn't donate, but he'll sit and watch these 20-year-olds play video games. And I'm like, man, you have that video game. Why don't you just go play it? But hey, kids, right? Kids these days. But we really do appreciate it, Christopher. That's very nice. And our guy out in Wyoming, he's crushing it. We believe you're a Nole fan. You got to be a Nole fan to watch this from Wyoming. You know what I mean? Like to be still invested so much to watch this show when they're 1-2.
There we go. Hey, there we go. Now it's a party. Ray Pereira in the house. Here's a new one for Ray. I know he's horn gang, but I got this one as well, Corey. You know what can go wrong.
Was that Dion?
Well, Dion.
Oh, yeah, little Dion is back. For the folks that don't know, Dion was also a recording star with great songs like that. It's crazy he didn't take off. More of a one-hit wonder. But Dion recorded an album, and I believe performed on Saturday Night Live as the musical guest and the host.
No.
One year. I'm almost positive. I know he hosted because they did this whole during the baseball strike, and they did this whole thing where he was at the Players Union negotiating, and John Kruk is sitting there in a bathrobe like Chris Farley's playing John Kruk. Like, I'm mowing lawns. I don't have any money. And then Dion's on the phone like, I told you I wanted a gold car. It's got to be made of gold. So that was the whole gist of the story, the skit. So that was pretty funny. So, yeah, he was a recording artist. Ray, you're the man. You will always be the man. The pillar.
What's a better song, Eddie Murphy, Party All the Time, or Deion Sanders, Must Be the Money?
Eddie Murphy's.
Ooh.
Eddie Murphy's is catchy, man. It's a little. I'll be honest. I mean, I know it was 9 or 8 when that thing came out, but I like that song. I think that's the demo he was catering towards there with that one. But yeah, the Party All the Time. That's a catchy jam.
There we go. Ray Pereira in the house says that I move up the depth chart with no Zoom 2020 snafus. Although you must be late arriving, Ray. I've dropped off the show twice. Can you still hear me though when my picture goes out, Corey? Or am I just
You're frozen. You're frozen. That's why I take over and really run with things.
That's not good. All right. Well, Ray's got some strategery he wants us to talk about. Corey, if you were Notre Dame, would you stack the box, blitz on third down against the Florida State offense? Go no.
Yeah, I would definitely stack the box. I would make this is what Jordan Travis. There's always an adjustment to the adjustment. That you're not going to take Notre Dame by surprise. Now they know what you do. They know what Florida State is trying to do with Jordan Travis at quarterback. They have now 6 days to prepare for it. So they are going to make an adjustment. They are probably going to do their darndest to make sure he does not beat them with his legs. So he's got to prove that he can beat them with his arm at least early and get them to back up a little bit. So yes, they will definitely stack the box. I think the receivers, maybe not Terry, but I think Pokey could get a lot of one-on-one. Terry might even too, and you've got to exploit that, man. Those guys got to go win their battles, and Travis has got to put it on them. You've got to make some big plays through the air, and I think that will open up what you're trying to do on the ground.
Okay, well said, Corey. Thanks again, Ray. Man, we do appreciate it. We appreciate your support, diligently supporting us. All right, let's take another call. They've been waiting around here in the queue for a long bit. Mad AMCZ on Warchant's Travel Council. Mark calling us from Napoli, from Naples. Fort Myers. I'm sorry. Mark, how are you, man?
Yes, sir. Good. How are you guys?
Good, man. Good. You won.
Corey,
did you win on the over-under?
Congrats on the Braves win today.
Yeah.
We did it. We only got 10 more wins to go, and we're World Series champs.
Hey,
yes,
Mark.
Sir.
Mark, did you win over-under? I think you were like in the top 5. I think I owe you some free Zaxby's.
Yeah. Well, maybe I think it was second place. It's
okay.
Fine. As long as you got a lot of other things to worry about. But thank you.
No, you're fine, man. You're fine. What's on your mind, Mark?
So the concern I have is Jordan running the offense beautifully this past week. His playing style, it seemed, even though he scored on like 6 of 7 possessions, physically he was blocking, just getting hit seemingly all the time. So we want to make sure. But the upside of that is that when Chubb is healthy, and I think Corey's made this point, is that he could run this exact same offense, the same or even better. But I want to know your concerns about, Jordan staying healthy. It's exciting the way he played this past week, but we need to have a backup plan, and not just for Notre Dame, but I think the real test of this team is going to be the rest of the ACC slate, starting with North Carolina.
Absolutely, it's a very good point. It's something that I have brought up because it's something that the one caveat you have with getting excited about Jordan Travis is the health issues. Even going back to the spring, he didn't throw the ball the third day we got to watch before the world shut down because something was going on with his shoulder and he wasn't healthy. And then he got hurt in preseason camp. He got hurt in the Miami game. As a quarterback taking these kind of hits, it's one thing to go be a lead blocker against Jacksonville State. And part of me really likes it. Part of me is like, absolutely, man, finally somebody's playing that position again. Like they're having fun. Like it's not torture. Like they're going to make plays. They're going to help out teammates. They're trying to be physical. They're doing whatever it takes. That's great. That's all well and good. Man, the first time a 238-pound Notre Dame linebacker sees Jordan Travis trying to run as a lead blocker out in front of him, that's going to be a bad day for Jordan Travis. He's got to get a little bit smarter. I think he was just caught up in the emotion of how well they were playing and how well he was playing. And he knew that if he could pitch the ball, it kind of reminded you of Jameis a little bit. Jameis would do that stuff. If he could pitch the ball and then get out in front, well, that's another blocker they can't account for. And no quarterbacks do that. He'll stop doing that. I'm almost assuredly he will stop doing that. But yes, he talked about it today. I think Dillingham talked about it yesterday. Dillingham talked about it Monday. Jordan talked about it Tuesday about having to be a little smarter with his body moving forward. Now that you're the starter, man, you can't run completely recklessly. If you have a chance to get out of bounds or slide, but first get the first down. I think he does do a good job of that for the most part. I don't think he's going to be a guy that pulls up short and turns what should be a first down into 30 yard and a half. I think he will be that guy that gets the first down, but it will take a toll on his body. And you got to hope that his body holds up. You got to hope Chuba's body holds up once he gets in there eventually, I would think.
That's a really good question, Mark. I think you hit the nail on the head for the most part, Corey. But my concern is, like, the damage that he's taking isn't him running and he could have just kind of scooted out of bounds and avoided. It's him like running between the tackles on a 2nd and 6, and instead of just getting 4 yards, like he's trying to get 7.
But you think about, like, and I know Tebow is a different deal because he was a freight train. He was 250 pounds.
I mean, do we have to keep? Can we say like Dan Kendra?
No, because Kendra didn't do it. I was going to mention Taj Boyd. You remember Clemson? Anytime in 2012 and 2013 when it was 3rd and 2, they had that dude run for first downs. That was just their offense. And I mentioned him because he wasn't an overly big guy. He wasn't a huge guy, and he wore some hits. He took some hits. There are colleges that do that. Derek King isn't a big guy. He's going to take some hits, but you can, as long as you're smart I think that's going to be part of their offense is Jordan Travis getting 7 yards on first down, and that's going to end up him being tackled. But he's a football player. I don't think you can't treat him like you can't treat him like Jameis. You can't treat him like you want him to not get hit at all costs because the season is on the line if he gets hurt. He's got to be a football player and go make football plays. So part of me likes and Jameis would too, by the way. It's not like that kid ever shied away from contact. But you can't treat him like a franchise quarterback that can't be touched. Part of his appeal, part of the reason he's effective is the running game. And he's just going to have to be tough. He's going to have to hopefully not get hurt, and he's going to have to will himself for a few yards that most quarterbacks don't, because that's part of his game. That's why he's playing.
All right, Mark, we appreciate the call. I know you're probably pretty excited, I assume, from what you saw out of Jordan on Saturday, right?
Yeah, and someone posted on the Tribal Council this week the clip of LaDamian Webb just laying the wood against that guy playing through the whistle with like 2 or 3 blocks on the same run. Like, that's so exciting. So the combination of these guys running the ball, Toafili, Webb, and Jordan, we should move the chain. So
For sure. All right, Mark. We appreciate the call, man. Good.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, go Knowles. Thanks, guys.
And don't you think also, Aslan, it's a little bit contagious? Like when you see, like Tamorian Terry was blocking better than he has all season. It still wasn't incredible, but he's out there trying to block. Pokey's out there blocking. The running backs are blocking for each other. When you see the quarterback working as a lead blocker, I don't want to see that much anymore, but it is contagious that you start running harder. You start blocking harder. You want to do it for your teammates. And that's how you build on that. Now, all that being said, you are going from Jacksonville State to Notre Dame. Let's see how hard they block, how hard they run. When they get punched in the mouth by really good football players, are they going to punch back? That's what I want to see more than anything on Saturday. Not literal punches, because they're wearing helmets. You're just going to bust your hands, guys. But when they get hit in the mouth, then when they get knocked down, will they finally get back up and knock somebody down?
Yeah. Wandering Fitness again, throwing some more money in the tip jar because it just really wants to get me all riled up here. It's fine though. We appreciate it. I'm sure.
Thanks, Wandering Fitness.
Sure, a good human being. We just spoke to him on the phone, but he's dropping money in the tip jar.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Mark Adamczyk, $24, the number of Travis completions at Notre Dame, he says. Let us go. I'll take
You think
that.
that's a good sign if he completes 24, or maybe a bad sign that he completes 24? I think you're wanting Travis to be about 14 of 22.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't think you want to throw – if he's completing 24, unless he's 24 out of 27, unless he has like a Jameis Pitt game, I think that might be a little too many attempts. But that might mean you're way down and you're just trying to throw yourself back into the game.
Juan in Fitness is asking us a question about, I think, recruiting. I'm not sure. I haven't kept up with what's going on the offensive line. I know they got Roderick Orr a few weeks ago, so that's encouraging. He's a tackle.
They definitely don't have 3 O-linemen in the top 30 in the country for like position players total.
Right.
That would be 3 5-star linemen, and trust me, there'd be parades in Tallahassee every day if they were signing those kind of linemen. I think they do like the guys that they've gotten commitments from, and more to that point, I think they like the young guys they have on the roster.
Yeah.
I think they like Scott. I think they like Schrader, and I think they like Maurice Smith. I think those are guys that talking about pillars. This is the pillar app. I think those are guys that they think can be pillars of the line moving forward.
William McMillan, we appreciate it, man. Throwing $5 in the tip jar.
Willie Mack in the house.
Christopher Kearney's back. I mean, you could say something, Chris. We're here to answer guys' questions. And Willie Johnson's in the house. 50 American in the tip jar. You know I can't go
wrong. Dollar bills, y'all.
Man, Willie Johnson coming correct. Ray Pereira, did you see that?
Willie, right?
He's on your turf.
With Ulysses S. Grant coming in here, man, dropping 50, man. We appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, man. That's awesome that you did that. Thank you. Thank you, everyone that's donating. That's really, really nice.
Mark says that my wife is thinking of starting a support group called Wives of Warchant. I miss a lot of dinners focusing on this stuff. Well, we appreciate that, Mark. Focus on what's good. We'll be here. We're here every single week, so you can pick and choose. Willie, thanks so much. Willie never says anything, really. Like, he'll come back maybe 30 minutes later. So, Willie, if you got something on your mind, for sure, let us know. Here's the Snook Slayer or the Grouper Slayer himself, Robert.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the house. Robert Rainey, you get
dollar bills, y'all.
You get some sauce. You got some sauce with your 47-pound. What was it called again? A gag grouper?
Gag grouper, yeah. Yeah, it only took him about 20 minutes to boat that thing.
Yeah. We got a couple calls waiting in the queue. We'll get to here shortly. Let's take Robert's question. Evening, gentlemen, or boys, actually, he says, which is fine. It's cool. We're boys, just like James Blackman and Jordan Travis, idol, peer, all that kind of stuff. Jordan Travis looks like the quarterback going forward. With that said, I'm not looking forward to this weekend.
I think you're not alone. I think, speaking of you on fishing boats, I think there's a lot of people in that boat with you that were excited with the way Jordan Travis played against Jacksonville State. They are cautiously optimistic maybe that he'll look pretty good against Notre Dame, but nobody's expecting a whole lot, I don't think. I just don't think anybody's expecting the offense to take a giant step forward. But if it looks competent and you put some points on the board, you stress their defense, because that Miami defense after the first drive was not stressed at all. If you can stress that defense, that's a step in the right direction. Baby step, tiny little baby step, but it's a step in the right direction. And I do think Jordan, so it's a big week for him, because if he doesn't play well, if he has a 6 of 14 game with a couple picks and doesn't run it all that well, yes, everybody's going to be wanting to see the freshman. That's going to be what everybody wants to see. So it's a big week for a guy that's waited this long to be a starting quarterback, to build on his performance and play well on Saturday. Doesn't have to win the game, doesn't have to put up 40 points, but he needs to play competently, confidently, and move them a little bit. But thank you, Robert, for the donation, man. That's very, very nice.
The tip. Sorry, tip. We appreciate the tip. People kept asking me, "What's the donation? Like, what are we? We're not like donating to any cause. Just it goes into the greater."
Well, they're donating to the Warchant cause. Yeah,
it's going to our war chest. Listen, I can see it. I can see Notre Dame, blowing up this offensive line. I can see Notre Dame, Ian Book being able to, kind of pick apart this secondary. I can see all this happening. But I also do think that if you can control the ball, if you can establish the run game, Mike Norvell said on his call-in show Monday, he kind of hinted a little bit about it Tuesday when he spoke to the media. Now it's going to be a lot more difficult to move around the guys on Notre Dame's defense than Jacksonville State. But man, if they can establish some semblance of a run game, and whether that means Jordan or LaDamian Webb or Lawrence Toafili, and shorten this game. Like, don't let Notre Dame get 75 snaps. Kind of played keep away to a certain extent. Notre Dame's a little bit rusty. They haven't played in a few weeks. We don't know what sort of key players they might be without because of COVID protocols. Just the way that Norvell talked about this game on his call-in show Monday, he just talked about I feel like I think he said like extraordinarily confident or something along the lines of like he feels really good about where they're at and going into this game. Now, I'm not going to bet that Florida State's going to win, but I think what everybody wants to see, I think what everybody can agree on is like, don't repeat the sins of the past where you play Clemson and you play Florida and you play Miami and you play these top 10 teams and you look terrible. Like, get into the fourth quarter. Like, I believe there's some momentum in my mind that I feel that they can somehow string this together somehow. I mean, if Marvin's going to play a full game, if he can piece that together, and if maybe Travis Jay's back, if Josh Kando can build off his performance, although we know Notre Dame's got some of the best tackles in the country, and this offense can just, keep the defense off the field as much as possible. I feel like, we'll be proud. We'll see the growth that we want. I believe.
Okay. So. All right. I don't necessarily, but I love your confidence.
Yeah, I'm trying. I need to pull this quote up now from Norvell on his call-in show. I actually transcribed it on Monday as I was watching it live because I was like, man, that's pretty strong. That was a pretty strong statement. So as I'm scrolling through here,
I also want to see how Travis handles adversity because that's a big key to being a good quarterback or a starting quarterback. He hasn't really handled any as a traditional quarterback. He threw the terrible interception against Miami, but that play in that series was blown up anyway. I want to see how he handles a couple of 3 and outs or getting rocked on a keeper or make a couple bad decisions, because that always happens. If you make 80 decisions and the quarterback is making a decision on essentially almost every play, you're going to make some bad ones. Jimbo used to always say that. You're not going to pitch a perfect game. You're going to make some bad decisions. How does he handle it? That's what I want to see. I want to see if he can handle a 3 and out or a turnover and come right back and lead them down the field. That to me is something to build on for his own future. And again, for the team's future, move some guys around. You're not going to move that Notre Dame defense around. It's still the Florida State offensive line. We think they're better, but it's still what it is. It's still a pretty big mismatch on Saturday. Jordan can help mitigate that with his legs being a mobile quarterback, but only to a point. You're going to have to make some plays in the passing game. You're just going to have to. That's the only way you're going to keep this close. You are not going to run for 300 yards against Notre Dame. They are not going to allow that to happen, and I don't think you're equipped to make that happen. As good as I think these running backs could be in the future, you're going to have to hit some big plays in the passing game. If he does that, no matter what happens, you build confidence moving on for the rest of the season.
The quote was, "I have unbelievable confidence in what we can accomplish. We need to have a great week of preparation, but I'm excited for the opportunity."
All right. He's always excited for opportunities. I've stopped writing that, by the way, in my transcriptions. When I do the transcriptions from Norvell during the press conferences, he says excited for the opportunity or excited. He says excited probably 25 times. A lot of excited for the opportunity. I've stopped quoting that directly. You guys understand every day he is going to be excited for an opportunity.
All right. Let's take this question real quick, and then let's get to the phone lines. We've got several people on hold. We do appreciate you folks hanging tight. Blevins, FTW for the win, I think is what the kids say. $5. We appreciate it. Does Odell not teach getting hands up if you can't get to the quarterback? We used to bat passes down all the time, but now teams quick game us to death.
I don't remember the first part. I don't remember the batting passes down all the time. That hasn't been. I don't feel like that's been a part of this defense for a while. But yes, that is a way you can defend or try to. You're not going to get there. And I don't know that a defensive tackle necessarily. That to me, the passes that are being completed are out wide. So if you're going to be batting something down from a defensive line perspective, it would be the ends. Those are the ones that could be in the passing lanes. The defensive they're not doing a lot of just dumps over the middle. At least I don't think they are. Maybe they are. I don't recall that as much being a problem as much as the ones out wide. But yeah, try something so it's not always 2nd and 2 when they do a quick pass, because Notre Dame's going to quick pass you. Why wouldn't they? They've seen the film. They'll allow 7 to 8 to 12 yards every time. So they will do some quick passes. And yes, it would be nice to deflect the ball. That's a good way to get an interception too. Am I right, Aslan? Get one of those big paws up there, and one of your linebackers comes and picks it off.
Yeah, man. That was one thing in the roundtable I thought I touched on when we kind of asked, like, what are the things that they can do here, quick fixes, low-hanging fruit kind of stuff. And mine was like, hey, man, just kind of relegate yourselves to the fact that you're not going to be able to get to the quarterback sometimes and just get your hands up and disrupt some of these passing lanes. Hopefully it's something they can work on. We're going to take a call here in a second. I want to, this is a bit of a downer to kind of pop up here on the screen, but I think it's probably at least worth talking about since we are a Florida State show. This comes from Rick Carley, who's been a long-time Birmingham sportscaster. Now he's on the news side of things. And Bobby Bowden has been hospitalized here recently, it sounds like. His wife, Ann Bowden, tells Rick Carley of WVTM in Birmingham he's having a chest x-ray, felt weak, otherwise okay. I'm reading this because it's on the screen and people listen to this on the podcast. And if you're listening to the podcast, it's going to probably be well dated, but still, though, just the folks that are listening in now, it sounds like it's precautionary. They hope that he'll be released in the next few days. The rest of the family has tested negative. So,
but precautionary. Well, when you're 90 years old and this thing hits you, you better be precautionary. Like everything is precautionary because it is, quite literally a killer, especially if you're at that advanced age. So I know there were reports on Twitter, not reports. There was somebody that lives in Killearn. If you don't know Tallahassee all that well, and I assume most of you do, but if you don't, Killearn is this enormous neighborhood where apparently half the city lives. But somebody saw an EMT at his house. So that was not a good sign, obviously. And now the fact that the report is that he's being hospitalized after being diagnosed just a couple days ago. Yeah, everybody's thinking about him. I would assume if you're watching this, you're thinking about him and hoping for recovery. And it would be great if he's released in 2 and 3 days. That would be 2 to 3 days. That would be great news because it's scary, man. This thing is scary, and it's especially scary when it gets somebody that age. So we're all hoping, if you pray for Coach Bowden's health and that he can come out of there fine in just a few days.
Yeah, he's close to his 91st birthday, man.
Yeah, and also John Thrasher and his wife have it.
Yeah, president of Florida State University. If you don't know,
and I told him because he actually texted me about going to recess, and I told him, like, John, I don't think that's the right play for the president to make, man. We in jest, I'm saying that, but yes, man, it's very, very serious. It's not a good day for Florida State athletics or just the university as a whole when the president, who also he's not 90, but he's not 31 either. So you just hope that both of them get through it, and his wife, John Thrasher's wife, get through it healthy and live much longer.
Okay, man, we got so many calls, and we got
all right. Let's go. Let's roll through them.
But we got, James is back, man. What am I supposed to do? James is back. $50 from James B. What's going on, man? He corrected himself here. He says that that win felt very good, even with all the caveats. Did we ever find out what Travis J injured? And what do you think the percentage is he'll be back this week? His right foot was in a boot. So I don't know if it's his ankle, foot. We don't know specifically. Again, Mike Norvell doesn't like to give specifics on injuries. No coach does, but just further driving that home. I would think he might be closer than Robert Cooper. Because Cooper was in a club and then he was in a sling. And I don't know how effective. People have played defensive tackle with clubs on before, but I'm hoping Travis J is closer. With the way, if the confidence and the enthusiasm that Mike Norvell had was speaking about Travis J, I'd put it like 85%.
Yeah, but we don't know if it both. It doesn't seem like either one is season ending. The way Norvell was talking, and you hope they both can play because you're going to need both of them. But with a foot, I don't know that if you're on crutches and in a boot on one Saturday, are you then okay enough to play 60 or 70 snaps the next day? I don't know, especially at that position, at a safety position. But you're hoping getting Cooper back would be big too. But yes, it was some sort of he did something to his foot area in the Miami game, but we don't have specifics on what exactly he did. I also want to point out that, I like this show. I think we're a great show. I think we're the best. We're the best out there, other than maybe headlines, but that's because of me. It's not because of the other two guys. But looking back, it might not have been our finest moment as we're talking about Coach Bowden and President Thrasher having COVID and one of them in the hospital, we immediately go to dancing to Dion. But you know what? We do what we do. We moved on. We said what we had to say. We really do feel that way about Coach Bowden and John Thrasher. And we really do love James B. So you can have both, right, Aslan? It's like when James Cameron, when he won for the Titanic, he talked about he wanted to have a moment of silence for the 1,200 people that died on the boat. And then right afterwards, he goes, "I'm the king of the world." So, we had our own James Cameron type moment, but it's fine. People understand this show has to go. We have to go. We can't lament. We know Coach Bowden and Coach Thrasher. We're pretty darn confident they're both going to be fine.
Yeah, nobody complained, Corey. So
I know. I kind of felt as I was dancing, and this is how I dance. I don't dance. I'm not like Aslan. I don't get after it. I was like, maybe it literally was 9 seconds ago. I was talking about Bobby Bowden being in the hospital, but the show goes on.
Yay!
I'm not criticizing you. I'm not criticizing anything. It's just how it happened. James B., we love you, man. We love you.
This caller's been waiting for 49 minutes. So I do apologize for the long wait. It's Daryl from Thomasville, North Carolina. He wants to talk about the play of the offensive line, sounds like. Is that what you want to discuss, Daryl?
Hey, Corey. Hey, Aslan. How y'all doing, gentlemen?
Doing well. Thanks.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Hey, as long as I think I've ever waited to give him a call in too, but I guess Warchant's working on, man. I didn't get to see the game because of our sorry state here in North Carolina blocked it out. But I did get to see the 25-minute clip that I think Warchant put out there, and from the clip that I got to saw, it seems like the offensive lines has made a lot of strides since the first part of the year, and Coach Atkins seems like he's done a great job in putting together a good offensive line. And it seems like if we can get some guys healthy and things like that, it seems like we can put together a great, not maybe not a great line, but a consistent line. What do you? I really like Robert. Robert Smith. I mean, he seems like a good, a real good, kind of down to earth offensive lineman. What do you think about that, Corey?
Yeah, I like him too. I like Robert Scott. I like Maurice Smith. I think those are guys that you can build around. I really like. I like what I've seen from Atkins. Now, look, it's not going to look great on Saturday. We obviously understand that, but if it looks better than it did against Miami, and quite frankly, I didn't think it was all that terrible against Miami. You had a quarterback that wouldn't pull the trigger. I think moving forward, this line can be adequate this year. And as you build for next year, if these are the guys that you really like, and they really like Schrader too, who hasn't gotten to play because he got injured. He's another true freshman. I think, and maybe Devontae Love-Taylor comes back. I mean, he gets another year, and he has been their best lineman. And he really seems to work well under Atkins. So maybe he comes back and wants to do it again. Either way, I think there are some building blocks here. I haven't felt optimistic about the offensive line in, I don't know, 8 years. I don't know. I know I was married. I know that I had more hair than this. I had some hair at least. That was the last time I felt optimistic about Florida State's offensive line. I'm starting to get there again. We're not doing cartwheels yet. I'm not predicting first round picks up front yet, but I do like what he's done. I like the scheme that they run to help them out for a little bit, and they seem to have a little what for to them. I really like Maurice Smith. I think he could be a really good center in a couple years, or maybe even next year. And I think you got something with Scott. We'll see with Schrader. And one other thing I wanted to touch on, Aslan, that we haven't touched on real quick. Norvell essentially said, we knew it anyway, but Dante Lucas was suspended for that game on Saturday. We knew that. But he also said he wanted him to be out, because I couldn't understand, okay, well, if he's suspended, why is he dressed out? Why is he in pads? Well, Norvell wanted him to be out there. He wanted him to experience that, like being dressed out with your teammates but not being able to play because you let him down, whatever he did to violate team rules. But he still wanted him out there. And Norvell brought up what we both saw. Well, at least I saw. I don't know if it showed up on the TV broadcast. Lucas was cajoling teammates the entire time. He was involved and engaged. Not everybody else on that offense was. He was. He's got and I know he was hurt, and he didn't get a chance. He had a rehab. He didn't get a chance to get a lot bigger and stronger. He's still better than what he's shown. And again, I still think that's a guy that could be a building block too. And he is only a true sophomore. So I want to see Dante Lucas take a step too. If he does, then all of a sudden, not only do you believe in Atkins because he got through to Dante Lucas and is making these guys better, I think you start to think, okay, this could actually be not just an okay line or bordering on mediocre, but a good line in 2021, 2022, right? They're young enough and they're showing strides.
I mean, that's what I'm hoping. The Notre Dame game, I hope he's a little bit upset that he missed that game. If Dante Lucas can play with that sort of mean streak that he has, and Maury Smith starts the game, and Robert Scott takes another step, Devontae Love-Taylor's been really, really good for this team. I feel good about what they can do.
Well, just compete, right? Like, they're going to lose some battles. Notre Dame is solid up front because it's Notre Dame. But you're Florida State. You're allowed to win some battles up front, too. You're not going to win them all. You're not going to dominate Notre Dame. But I want to see some replays on some 12-yard runs where you're pushing bodies out of the way and not getting pushed. You're the one doing the pushing. And if you see some of that, again, once they do that against Notre Dame, once they feel that against Notre Dame, North Carolina's going to seem easier. Louisville's going to seem easier. Duke will seem much easier. So hopefully they have an okay game, an okay showing on Saturday. But again, it's something to build on for the future. Man, I talked a lot.
Boy, I got one more thing for you. Did you see that block that Jordan Travis put on that guy over there on the sideline? It's been a while since we've seen a quarterback put a block on somebody, hadn't it?
Yeah. Jameis used to do it occasionally, but yes, it hasn't been something that's been part of this offense or just part of the quarterback position for a while. I don't know, Daryl, that we want to see him doing it a lot, but I do think if it's sporadic enough, it could be something that galvanizes an offense when they see their quarterback out there playing that hard, playing that physical. But man, be careful. You know what I mean? Be careful. But I like the mindset and I like the physicality because it's been a while since Florida State's had a quarterback that did stuff like that or was just dynamic in and of itself. It hasn't been that way. This guy seems like he's got a little bit of that in him. Again, we'll see how feisty he is against Notre Dame. Jacksonville State's a whole different ballgame, but yes, that was a good thing to see.
All right, Daryl.
All right.
Thanks,
Daryl.
All right, guys. All right, well, hit that like button and subscribe to Warchant and go to Zaxby's. And thank you guys for a great show, and we'll keep on watching. And y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks, buddy.
Hey, we got 2 callers in the queue. Let's try to grab these and go through them as quick as we can. We got a whole bunch of people also donating or tipping us on YouTube.
That's right.
I corrected myself, which is awesome. We appreciate it. Let's go out to Lake City. We got Bryson on the line here. What's up, Bryson?
Hey, I just wanted to ask a question.
Sure.
It's really not a Florida State question. It's more of an ACC. Okay. Where do y'all rank the ACC amongst the other Power 5? And if conference realignment happened today, who would be the teams you bring in and who would be the teams you kick out?
I would say, what do you think, Aslan? I'd say the ACC is ahead of the Big 12 and the Pac-12, right?
Yeah, because of Clemson. Yeah, I put them third behind the Big 10 and the SEC.
And I also think it's a more physical conference. I know people might laugh at that, but it is. You have better players, I think, overall than the Pac-12 and the Big 12 do, at least on defense. It is. I just think it's a better overall conference. Clemson, it certainly helps that. But it's not the SEC and it's not the Big 10, in my opinion. It's certainly not the SEC. And there's got to be somebody that challenges Clemson. You can't just have one team roll through the conference for a decade like Clemson seems to be on their way to doing. Who would you kick out? I mean, I'm all about always. Boston College is always my first answer. They add nothing. They add nothing to the conference. They don't add eyeballs. Nobody in Boston cares about college sports. Boston College has not been good at football. They don't sell out. Nobody goes to the games, any of their sports. They just don't belong. They should be in the AAC, or they should be in whatever conference UConn used to be, the Big East. I'm not a big fan of Boston College.
Boston College actually going to be pretty good now, I think, with that new coach of theirs, and they got the Notre Dame transfer quarterback. I wouldn't jettison them.
Who would you jettison then? Boston College offers nothing.
I don't need you. Miami, go find some other place does.
Okay. I see. Boston College has won as many ACC football championships as – no, they've won more.
Yeah.
Didn't they win one?
Yeah.
I think they won one with Matt Ryan. So, yeah, they've won more than Miami has. So, you're right. Maybe Miami should be the one that's jettisoned.
No, I don't know. Maybe Syracuse. Although I don't know. I guess basketball that helps out.
You still got a little basketball there, yeah. But yeah, I'd say BC or Syracuse. But again, Boston College. I think Syracuse is a college town, though. Like I do think they care about their college in Syracuse. Boston, I don't know. When you say, "Oh, I'm a college football fan in Boston," they think you're like you love Harvard or you love MIT. Oh, MIT has a football team. They don't know. They don't know. They couldn't name the coach. They couldn't name the quarterback. They just don't care.
Who would you add? Texas?
Yeah. Michigan. That'd be a good one. Or Ohio State. Bring Ohio State in, man. They might get tired of the Big Ten. I don't know. I wouldn't add a Florida school just because of you wouldn't want them to be on the same level as you financially if you're Florida State. I don't know. What would you Georgia? Would you like Georgia in the ACC?
Yeah, they're not leaving. They're not.
I know. If we were talking about realistic, I don't even know who would be a realistic addition.
All right, Bryson. Thanks for the call, man. We appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
No problem.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, let's take our last call. Somebody just buzzed in, but man, we got somebody who's been waiting for 27 minutes, and we're over an hour already. So I think this will probably be the last phone call we take. Welcome on into Wake Up Warchant, presented by Zaxby's Indescribably Good. This is L.A. Knowles. I think he's actually a moderator on the website. He's in Albany. He wants to talk about the clean play, Corey. Clean play out of the Knowles, right?
Okay, let's hear it.
L.A. Knowles.
Yeah, I think I haven't heard a lot of people talk about the 6 out of 7 drives we had. On the 6 we scored, we didn't have any holding penalties, I believe. I think we only had 1 or 2 false starts. It was against Jack State, so maybe the pressure wasn't there, but it's been a long time that we've seen that many drives that we didn't, get down to the 30-yard line and then have back-to-back holding penalties.
And Dillingham brought that up when he was talking about what Travis did well. He didn't bring up holding, but he talked about how they were never in 2nd and 13. Whether it be a hold or a sack because you hold the ball too long or a bad bounce outside by a running back, they were always on schedule. And man, when you're not great offensively, and this team is not good it's not great offensively, it might have been good by the end of the year. You can't afford to be 2nd and 16 against anyone or 1st and 20. And you bring up those 5 touchdown drives. Well, they scored 6 out of 7 touchdown drives. And the only one they didn't score that they would have scored almost assuredly was the one where they had 2 holds. So you're right. And that should be great evidence for those guys. Look, when we do it cleanly, and we play clean and we don't hold and we don't get sacked, we're going to move the ball. But when we stop ourselves with dumb holds, I shouldn't say dumb holds, when they get called for holding, then you have to punt. And that's what happened, And almost Jordan Travis, after one of those holds, almost threw a pick 6. Like when it gets you behind schedule, man, it really hurts. So that's a good point. They didn't have the false starts. Maybe one where they went 1st and 15, but other than that, they were never in huge down and distances. And when you're 3rd and 5 with a mobile quarterback that's getting it out on time, you're typically going to pick that up. So yeah, that's a good point.
And the other thing is we've talked about, Notre Dame loading the box. We ran 8 or 9 plays. I think we had 2 running backs in the backfield with Travis. And he also has the option of then throwing out to the wide receiver. That way, Notre Dame can't concentrate just on Travis Jordan.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jordan Travis.
Yeah. I'm going to make that mistake a lot, by the way. I keep wanting to call him Travis Jordan. That's what happens. We got 2 first names, man. You got to live with it. You can keep them. You can keep them horizontal. You can attack horizontally and vertically. I thought Travis did a good job of that. You can keep them honest, but when you throw it outside like that, buddy, your wide receiver better make a block. He better hold the block, and he better not hold. Because again, when you're outside one-on-one, we've seen it a lot, man. When they run a wide receiver screen, it used to happen with Jimbo's offense all the time. When your wide receiver's out there one-on-one naked for the whole world to see, and Southern coming out at me, Georgia coming out at me, those holds get called a lot because they're out there one-on-one, and you can't hold. You've got to be able to block and you've got to be able to engage, but you can't hold because then you're looking at 2nd and 20. But yes, that is an area where you can exploit them, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what Dillingham and Norvell have dialed up. I don't expect them to go up and down the field. They're not going to put 40 points on this team, but they know what to expect from Notre Dame. They know how Notre Dame plans to counter what they did with Jordan Travis on Saturday. So how do they counter that? It'll be a cool chess match, and I want to see how good they are at chess because, the first 2 games they were playing checkers.
And that's what I'd like to see is
sorry, I try. That was my fault.
Of the plays.
Gotcha. All right, man. We appreciate the call. Thanks, LA Knowles.
All right, appreciate it,
buddy.
All right, man. We got one more caller, but he wants to ask us if Norvell was the right hire over Bob Stoops. That's going to take a long time. We'll try to talk about that tomorrow on the show, Dwight.
He might have been the right hire over Mark Stoops.
Yeah. So
they're not all that happy with Mark Stoops right now.
The show has ended. Yeah. Goodbye.
Thanks, Terry, for checking out the calls, screening them for us. Shout out to Thomas Giddings.
Let's go.
$4.99 in the jar. Good dude. That's what happened to my music? My music went away already.
You ended the show. You ended the show. Something you ended the music.
Oh no! Hang tight. Here we go.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Yeah, there we go. That's right. Thomas Giddings. How about the Bolts? Hopefully, some FSU club ice hockey games. I've never been to one of those. That'd be great. Says, love the show as always. You guys are great and full of insight. Corey, keep telling us the truth.
That's the only thing I know how to do, Thomas. But we really do appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for the tip. That's very, very nice, very, very thoughtful. We do appreciate that.
This fell off the screen because we went to the phone calls. Gator Kirk threw $17 down. So Gator Kirk.
Gator Kirk.
Why does this keep? Oh, this is what it keeps doing. It's not disappearing. It's hidden behind another window. Gator Kirk, I'm not going to play the horn. So it's fine. We appreciate it. I'm trying to play something, but I can't, I'm just.
Oh, boy. I apologize, guys. I just dropped my phone. Things are falling apart.
Our pets' heads are falling off each other.
It's anarchy.
Dollar bills, y'all.
That's for Gator Kirk.
I thought he wanted the Warchant.
I can't pull. I don't have that in the queue. Robert Amir Rashad dropped $5. Back to the reality of the FBS this week. Let's not put lipstick on a pig with this team. Prepare for the future. Revamp the players and staff.
I don't know about the staff, but you're definitely going to be revamping the players.
Robert coming in hot. We do appreciate the $5 tip. Jeb Perkins with $5 saying, "Who do y'all think is the hardest hitter in FSU history?"
Oh, I think Marvin would be Marvin Jones. I gotta, specify. I think he's the guy that people would immediately go to. But I think I might say Ernie Sims. Like pound for pound, he was so fast and so big. He wasn't a normal human being, and he was able to create so much energy. No, sorry, pound for pound, it's LaMarcus Joyner. Okay. But overall, Ernie Sims being 235 pounds, and he was faster than Marvin Jones, incredibly. And he would concuss himself so much. I think I might say Ernie Sims. Okay. But they had a lot of them, man. That's the beauty of being at a program like Florida State. There's a lot of hard hitters. One of those safeties, Derek Gibson, maybe. They had some big time hits too.
Nick Moody's in the conversation, I think.
Yep. Jeff Dimps would say Nick Moody.
Yeah. All right. I think that's everybody. We got everybody in. Yeah, we got everybody in. All right. Good stuff. Sorry that some people started talking about politics on here. I wasn't able to get there and delete everything. Apologies for that, everybody. But, we do the best that we can. All right. That's a wrap on the show. We'll be back tomorrow. Thanks to Thomas Giddings, Gator Kirk, Jeb Perkins, Robert Amir Rashad, Wandering Fitness, James B., Robert Rainey, Will Johnson, Christopher Kearney, William McMillan, Mark Adamczyk, Blevins FTW, Ray Pereira, and Troy in Wyoming. Also, Pat, and somebody else also did a super sticker. For some reason, the super stickers aren't registering on here, but I remember Pat donated as well, or tipped us rather. So appreciate it. Thanks to everybody who called in. Thanks to Daryl. Thanks to Mark, Gator Kirk, Jay in Daytona, and whoever else I might have forgotten.
Bryson, you know the names. Well, not Bryson. He was a newcomer, but you know the regulars.
Yeah, Dwight, we'll get to your we'll bat that around perhaps. Norvell versus Stoops. Might be a little too early to talk about that. It's not like Stoops is coaching another team right now.
Was he joking? Because it's not like they turned down Bob Stoops. They would have taken Bob Stoops in a heartbeat if Bob Stoops wanted to coach.
Terry does a good job screening the calls. Just puts their name and what they want to talk about, and that's what we want to talk about, he said. So.
Yeah, good work, Terry, by the way. Good work, buddy. We appreciate it always and what you do for Warchant.
Yeah, there you go. All right, man, we are done. That's a wrap. Be back on warchant.com tomorrow or today as you're listening to this on the podcast. 11:20, 11:30-ish or whatever. We'll hear from Mike Norvell and selected defensive players, and that's the last time we'll hear from them. Warchant report will be dropping later on in the week. I think there might be a recruiting chat going on with Michael Langston. Maybe it'll be on YouTube. I don't know. I don't know all the things that are going on because there's so much going on at warchant.com. It's your ultimate Seminole sports source. Thanks for listening. He's Corey. I'm Aslan.